Hey, welcome back. Your favorite technical mathematics class. Take a look at area. We'll talk about that concept and find the area of a triangle, some quadrilaterals, and for a circle. Well, area is like how much paint to cover, let's say, a rectangle. So in the case of a rectangle, it would be the length times the width. So for example, if this is 10 feet and the width is 5 feet of this, I don't know, some wall, then we would take the 10 feet and multiply by the 5 feet, and we would get 50 square feet of paint would be needed to cover that wall area. Now the area of a square, since the square is side by side, if you've got a square that's 4 by 4, then the area is 4 times 4, 16 square feet, or whatever your units are squared. For a parallelogram, you take your base, b, times the height, h. The height, h, is this altitude, which is from one base to the other, but it's a 90-degree angle. So the area of a parallelogram whose altitude is 20 inches. Let's go ahead and draw this here. And the base is 18 inches, and this altitude or height here is 20 inches. So we would have 18 inches for the base times 20 inches for the height. So the area of this parallelogram would be 360 square inches. For a triangle, you know what? Let me draw a rectangle for a minute. So we've got a rectangle which has this 90-degree angle right here, base times height. And remember, an area of the entire rectangle is base times height, right? So if we cut this in half, and we just do this triangle in here, then that would be 1/2 base times the height, right? So as long as you have that height, again, the height making a 90-degree, right? Here's our height here. As long as you have the height of the triangle, you know the area is 1/2 base times height. So let's go ahead and do that for this area right here. Find the area of a triangle whose altitude is 22 inches. So this is 22 inches, the height. And the base is 9 inches. So area equals 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 times the base times the height, 22 inches. So this ends up being 99 square inches. When you do that, half of 22 is 11. 11 times 9, 99. Now, if you don't have a height, there is what's called a Heron's area formula. This is nice, where you know if, so this is to find area when have all side lengths only. You don't know the height. Okay, so if you have all the side lengths, what you do first is you find what's called the semi-perimeter. Okay, number one, do this. And then number two, plug it into the area formula once you have S, along with all the side lengths A, B, C. Okay, so for example, if we have A is 15, B is 8, and C is 9, then number one, we'll find the semi-perimeter, which is half of A plus B plus C. So the perimeter divided by 2. So 15 plus 8 plus 9, all divided by 2. And so the semi-perimeter, what's that, 32 over 2. So we got the semi-perimeter 16. Now that we know that, we can plug it into Heron's area formula, which is the square root of S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C. And this will actually give us the area from just having the side lengths. So S is 16. 16 minus A is 15. 16 minus B is 8. and S, which is 16, minus the C, which is 9. So we've got square root of 16 times 1 times 8 times 7. So we got the square root of, I'm not sure what that is. 896. And then the square root of 896 gives us 29.933259909. We'll round it to the nearest thousandth. 29.933 is the area of that triangle. So now the area of a trapezoid, which is, so you got this 1/2 the height. Again, the height is this altitude. So straight down to a base, you got the right angle, 1/2 the h. So 1/2 the height. And then it's the summation of a, here's a plus, and then you've got the b, the length of the other base up there on the top. The two, so the summation of the two parallel bases. Okay, that's how you find the area of a trapezoid. For example, let's say we had, let's say this is 27. Let's say the b is 9. Let's say this is 7 over here, 6 over here, and then this height is 3. Well, all we need is the height and a and b. So the area is 1/2 the height, 3. A is the 27 on the bottom plus b, the 9 on the top. So we have 1/2 times 3 times 36. I'm going to go ahead and take half of 36. That's 18, and then the 18 times 3, which is 54. So this area would be 54. Okay. All right, how about the area of a circle? Well, the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. So let's say we have a circle and we have that has a, in this case, a circumference, right? So the circumference all the way around, the length all the way around. The circumference is 5 feet. Circumference is 5 feet. How would we find the area from that? Well, number one, they give us the circumference. The circumference, which in the circumference formula, if you remember, is 2 pi r, and they tell us it's 5 feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for r on this. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2 pi. I'm going to get rid of that number. Remember, 2 pi is just a number. So my radius is 5 over 2 pi. Okay, and then I'm going to plug that in. So I'm going to, number 2, I'm going to plug that into my area formula. Area is pi times the radius squared. And so let me plug that in. Pi times my radius, which is 5 over 2 pi squared. So we got pi, 5 squared is 25. 2 pi times 2 pi is 4 pi squared, so I have 2 pi's there. So now let me multiply this across 25 pi over 4 pi squared. So there's 2 pi's. So one of the pi's cancels. And so I'll have area is 25 over 4 pi. So now I just want to use my scientific calculator and punch that in. Let me pull up decimals here. So 25 divided by 4 pi. Go to my scientific calculator. 25 divided by 4 pi. I could just punch in pi into my keyboard and it'll pull up that pi. Or you can click that button right there, but make sure it's in your denominator there. And you get that 1.989. I'm going to go ahead and stick it in here. Oops. And of course, we could round that. Let's round it to the nearest thousandth right there. So about 1.989, right? So that should kind of get you started with finding some areas. Thanks for watching. See you next time.